What's going on, Jetson Bolt Pro family? Today I have another video for you all. Sorry it has been a while since I made my last video about this e-bike, so I thought I'd give you a very detailed step-by-step guide on an upgrade today. I got my today's kit from my friends down in Texas, where they are selling a lot of Jetson Bolt Pro OEM parts. That is basically a one-stop shop for all Jetson Bolt Pro accessories. They're dedicated to just this bike. So we're gonna be doing the replacement today using their parts. They also have a lot of other products, so do check them out. So this kit actually is pretty nice. It comes with everything that you need to be able to do this upgrade, and right here this is the motor with the wheel attached to it. So this is an entire assembly. You don't have to take apart the motor, anything. Matter of fact, after this upgrade you are going to have two different motors for your Jetson Bolt Pro, because it comes with the motor here, it comes with all the gearing, so you don't have to do any of that. We're just going to swap out the rear wheel, we're going to add the chain, and then they send you the gearing mechanism. This is the Shimano shifter that they send you. There's a derailleur attached to it, so we're going to be replacing that. They even send you some zip ties for cable management. There's this little piece that they send for the handlebar here, the grip, because we're gonna have to remove this grip that we have, and then we're going to have to put this little piece right here because the gearing mechanism takes a little bit of space right here. So they send you that, and then of course they send you the new chain. So we're going to be putting this chain in. So again, they send you everything that you need. So this is a pretty cool upgrade, and I think is fairly straightforward. So for some tools, maybe just get some Allen key, of course have a wrench, maybe a small pry tool. You are definitely going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, and then most importantly, you're going to need a chain tool, and I'll put a link down below. We're going to want to break the chain that is existing in the Jetson, and we're going to install the new chain. So you are absolutely going to need a chain tool, and I'm going to put a link down below for this product. With that, let's get started with today's video. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. To begin the installation, first go ahead and remove this top cover. I did a very detailed video last year showing you how to remove this cover and the battery, so I will just link that video in the description below. Please refer to that very detailed step-by-step instruction video for that part. So out of all of this cable, this one right here, these are all the motor cables. So you got this blue, green, yellow, these are the three-phase power cable for the motor. This white one, usually it detects the speed. No, disconnecting this will not allow you to go faster. And then this one right here is this motor control cable. So what we need to do is just press on this right here. So if we press here, this one just pulls out. And then for this one, same thing, you just press here, and then this one pulls out. And then for these three-phase wires, you just have to disconnect them. So there's a little jacket here, so you can just pull this, and then again you can undo this jacket right here a little bit, and then you pull this, it comes out. Same with this one. So once all three of these cables are out, this motor assembly can be removed right here. This cable, we can now just pass this cable through this opening right here to down. Then we can safely remove the motor connection. So we're just going to pull this down. Maybe the hole is a little tight right here, so you might have to be a little careful. Perhaps pass this three-phase connections first, and then pass this motor cable at the end, and then we can pull it from down here. So there you go. Next, we're going to remove the chain. This is when you need that chain tool. Insert the chain inside the tool, and you can rotate the lever on the side. This lever has a pushing rod that basically pushes the middle pin of the chain. Be careful to not remove the pin all the way out, because it is a really difficult task to put it back. So don't do what I did here. Leave a little bit of pin on the edge. Then you can safely remove the chain. Next, we're going to use a wrench to remove this outside knot. Then remove the side washer by removing the bolt on the side. Now we're going to move to the other side. At this point, it is probably easier to flip the bike, as we will soon be removing the wheel. You can remove this outside knot using a wrench and then remove the washer. This will allow you to safely remove the stand. Now we are ready to take the wheel out. However, this brake pad housing is still on the way and won't let us fully remove the wheel. So take an Allen key and loosen those two bolts. You can completely remove the one that is closer to the wheel, and then you can leave the other one still intact but loose. Once the bolt is removed, you can then slide the brake pad housing, which will then allow you to completely remove the back wheel. Grab the new wheel with the gears and we'll insert 3 washers on the side with gears. There are 2 small ones and 1 big one. The other side only has 1 washer. Then align the wheel and insert it into the fork. This might be a little challenging because the space is very tight. You might need a second person to expand the fork for you or hold the bike. Make sure the washers are inside the fork. The wheel should be able to spin freely after the installation. Make sure the last gear is not touching the fork and it has enough clearance because we also need to install the chain. We will then grab the derailleur and slide it into the axle. Make sure the derailleur is facing front. Then add 1 more washer outside before adding the final nut. You can first install the components on the other side before fully tightening that nut. On the other side, you have this washer that attaches to the fork. Don't forget the nut that secures this washer. Then we'll insert the kickstand. You can insert 1 more washer and then secure the outside nut. Make sure everything is fully secured on both sides. Give it a quick spin to make sure the wheel can rotate freely. Don't forget to attach the brake pads with the Allen screws. I have a video linked below on the brake pad replacement for this bike, which goes into a lot more detail on how to adjust the brake pads and secure this bracket. Now we need to fish the motor cable back into the controller housing. To do that, I'm using a zip tie from this opening and the other end can come out from this bottom space. Then we'll use some electrical tape to secure the motor plug to route it. This is a little tricky, so take your time. Don't put too much force on pulling as you might damage the plugs. Once the motor cable is routed, we're ready to make those connections. Connect the white plug to the white, the main motor control plug needs to be connected, and then of course the 3-phase wires. Make sure to push those wires and secure the metal bracket. Then clean up the wiring and install the battery. Again, the video linked below will show you on how to install the battery and close up the outside cover. To install the gear shifter, we need to remove the left handlebar grip. You can just take a pry tool and pry the edge touching the power button. This makes it easy to slide the handlebar grip. Once it is loosened, you can then twist while pulling it out. This will require some force. Now we will insert the shifter into the handlebar. We'll need to loosen the Allen screw so it can slide easily. The cable part goes towards the front and the shifter will face the rider. The shifter will be upside down. That is the only way we could make this work since we couldn't put the shifter on the right side as our throttle is taking up that space. It'll still work, just the numbers are upside down. Slide the shifter into the handlebar and tighten the Allen key on the top. Make sure the Allen screw is tight so the entire shifter assembly doesn't rotate. Then, you will insert the half handlebar grip that they send you with the kit. Even though it is not perfect, this looks pretty integrated. Now time to install the chain. First, insert the new chain around this top gear and then wrap it around the bottom one. Then, we'll take the chain and hook it into the front chain ring so we can route the chain through. Next step is connect the chain together. We need to use the same chain breaking tool that you used to remove the original chain and now to install the new chain. Make sure the chain is fully secured and we're pretty much done. This is how the final assembly should look like. The bottom wire will still be loose, so time to make some adjustments. Right here is the shifter, and then you can just use this to shift between up and down. Again, this is upside down because that's the only way we could make this work, to be on this side. Otherwise the right side has the throttle, so we can't remove that. But the cable kind of comes from the back and then it kind of hangs outside. I mean, you could try to put it through that stem, but I just use some zip ties to secure it. And these are the gears right here. And the gear assembly looks like this. So right now we're on the highest gear, which is 6 for this. It goes through that very top gear and then it goes out from that derailleur, loops into the bottom one, and then it is going to your chain ring right here. Couple of things with this derailleur here. There are two screws that you can adjust. These are the limit screws, so high limit and low limit. So this high limit, when you tighten this, it actually pushes the derailleur more inside. And what you want to do is, when you first install this, you want to make sure that this top gear right here is aligned with whatever the highest gear you are in right now. So this is the gear 6, so the shifter is in 6, and you want to make sure that when you are in 6, this is actually very aligned right here. So you want to make sure this is straight. And if it's not straight, that is when you are going to use this high limit screw and then tighten it so that it pushes that way. Vice versa, when this is in this gear and then your derailleur is kind of over there pushed inside, you want to loosen this screw so that it kind of comes out. So that's how you align this whole thing. And the same with your low limiter screw. When you are on this lowest gear, which is the biggest gear, you are going to want to do the same thing. When you are there, you want to make sure that this whole thing is aligned. So that's how you can adjust it just by using those two screws. Now, when you first install it, when the chain is on, you want to put this on this smallest gear, which is the level 6 in our shifter. And what you want to do is, when you ensure that is here, and then you adjusted these two screws and made sure that everything is aligned, that is when you bring this in, the cable, and then you're going to actually unscrew this and then tighten this. So this cable needs to be super tight when your gear is right here. So when your chain is in this gear, you want to make sure that cable is tight, and that is how you can balance this whole thing. And to get this working, it might take a little while for you to get this working, because you're gonna have to keep adjusting these two screws to see which position, if you're in or out. And then this screw right here is also very helpful. That is another adjustment you can make, is if you tighten this, then it makes this cable looser, because here is that much gap right here. And if you make this kind of outward, when you loosen this cable becomes tighter. So the idea behind that is so you don't have to unscrew this every single time. You have a little bit of a flexibility to adjust it right here. So as I said, it's probably going to take you a little bit of time to get this right. Sometimes this kind of lags when you're changing the shifter, so it is going to take some time to adjust these screws. But these are the two screws, and then this one. So there are 3 adjustment options for you. Once fully adjusted, this system works really well. It could lag a little bit, requiring you to further fine-tune the adjustment screws. I did find it easier to pedal with this upgrade, even without the pedal assist from the motor. It feels more satisfying to use this bike in various terrain. In my opinion, this upgrade allows you to use this bike for longer distance trip without feeling burnt out. You can easily shift between different gears, and the pedal start feeling lighter with every rotation. Overall, this is a great addition to the awesome Jetson Bolt Pro. The bike did become noisier after the installation, and of course, the gears added some weight to the bike. You also have more components to maintain and lubricate over time, so just keep that in mind. So I think this is a pretty cool upgrade. It allows me to adjust the force that is required to conquer any hills or any types of terrain here. It just gives me a little bit more flexibility. I know that it does not really increase the speed in this bike, so that is not going to happen just with this upgrade. There are other upgrades that I showed in the video. They also sell a controller from where I got my shifter, that you can also buy a controller that is already upgraded so that you can get that 18 miles per hour speed. So if you're interested on that, it's a plug and play controller that you can buy from them. They are also working on some suspension system. There's a lot of projects that they're working on, so I'm really excited. I hope that I get to show you all of those projects here in this channel. But overall, really satisfied with this upgrade. They sent everything that I needed, and then now that I have a second motor, maybe, and just maybe, I can do that dual motor mod that I have been talking about. So I'll probably gonna put the rear motor that I took out from this bike into the front, and then add another controller and have the dual motor. So Other videos coming soon on this bike. Please let me know what other upgrades or mods that you are interested in for the Jetson Bolt Pro, and I'll be happy to make that video for you. Thank you all for your continued support. Please do check the JB bike parts out and let me know if you have any questions about anything. Thank you. I'll see you soon in my next video. Namaste.